Hi, Nikki here. Today I'm going to take you through a simple and yummy sweet potato souffle. The funny thing is, even though my family, my children, love it, it was not something that I grew up with. We grew up with candied yams, which weren't really my favorite, but I do love this sweet potato souffle, and I think that you will too. I have my potatoes at a rolling boil. I pre-cut my potatoes last night just so that I would be able to tidy up the mess. I have 3 containers of potatoes, getting a little splashy. But since I am making a Thanksgiving serving of sweet potatoes, I used 4 really large sweet potatoes, and that filled up 3 of these containers. The family member that I think likes this sweet potato souffle the most would be my oldest son. He saves it as part of his dessert. Like, he will eat everything and then go back and get a scoop of this for dessert. I'm going to take a moment to stir my potatoes and give them an opportunity to begin to boil. I think I might have added just a little too much water to my pot, and I really don't like boil overs. It might even be something that I call one of my pet peeves. I feel upset when it happens. So I'm gonna dip my container in and just scoop out a little bit of that water because I really don't want a boil over. I know there are all kinds of other strategies that people use to support things not boiling over, like leaving a spoon in to break up the tension of the bubbles, but I never think about those. I guess I could try one now. I don't know how effective it would be, but I'll take one of these cute guys and stick it right in. So now that we're waiting for the potatoes to boil, I can talk to you about the other ingredients that go into this recipe. We have a little bit of salt, like a touch of nutmeg. It's just a little secret ingredient that gives a different spice. A tablespoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, 3 large eggs, 1 cup of sugar, and 1/4 cup of brown sugar, light brown sugar, marshmallows, and what's still in the fridge is the cup of heavy whipping cream. It's something about the heavy whipping cream and the eggs together that help it become a souffle and lift and puff and make it more like a souffle than a sweet potato casserole. Take a peek at my potatoes. They are not boiling yet. Oh, and I will use about 6 tablespoons of this butter. It's here and it's softening so that it will be ready, because today I will be using my standing mixer, Sir Mix-a-Lot. He is coming into the kitchen today to blend everything together. There are only 2 parts of this recipe that are actually with the heat. Boiling the sweet potatoes is the first, and the second is putting the souffle in the oven to cook. I'm feeling a little impatient. Come on, potatoes. Boil for mama. I never measure the marshmallows. I just keep putting marshmallows on top until it's covered. And I put them on before it bakes. so it all goes together, and it kind of makes a sticky layer. The potatoes are still boiling. And like I told you earlier, today I will be utilizing Sir Mix-a-Lot. He is who puts in the work in getting everything all mixed up and all blended together so that it really can puff like a souffle. When I first started making this recipe, I would use a whisk and work to get it done, and I found out that I got a better result before I went to Sir Mix-a-Lot. What I did is I had a blender, and so I would put everything in the blender and I would crack the eggs and put them in, and so I would get the same result. But because the potatoes would be so hot and build up pressure, there were a couple of times that it went and no one was hurt, but many people were afraid. I was afraid. I had this in here. I don't know if this one's a good idea. It's pretty. It came from Target. Tabitha's Line. Tabitha's Line had this one and this one at Target, and they were just so cute. And it was only $5. So, Tabitha Brown, thank you. The potatoes are now at a rolling boil. I cut them small enough that they should cook quickly. Just get a butter knife and find one to give a little poke. They're definitely getting softer, but they're not. All right, but they are definitely at a rolling boil. I'm going to have to keep a close eye on them because I really want to prevent a boil over. Like I told you, it's one of my pet peeves. Oatmeal is the worst with it. When I make oatmeal in the microwave and it starts rising and I stop the microwave so that it can go back down, because there is something about that that upsets me. I wonder if it's some kind of condition that I could learn more about. But boiling over foods, boil overs, are definitely one of the things I do not like and want to prevent. I'm gonna leave you watching the boiling potatoes while I go dump out this hot water because it just doesn't seem like a good idea to keep it on the counter. It's one empty. That one. You know, as a kid, I never ate sweet potatoes. Never. And I don't know why, because they are so delicious. Like now, they don't even have to be souffled. I can just bake a sweet potato and cut it open and enjoy it with a tiny pat of butter or just a little salt, because it is naturally sweet. Sweet potato souffle is something that I usually make about twice a year. Thanksgiving, I definitely make it. And then at Easter, because it's something about the salty ham with the sweet potato souffle that it just makes that salty and sweet marriage that is so good. My potatoes are working and working. I want to give them another poke. Maybe I'll do it this way. Let's do it safe. Let's do it safe for the video. All right, so I have my potato cube. It's been boiling, and my knife goes in pretty easily. I think we'll give this like maybe 2 more minutes. And then when that's finished, we will drain the potatoes and put them in Sir Mix-a-Lot. It will be Sir Mix-a-Lot's time to shine. Okay. Now that I have my sweet potatoes and I have my stand mixers or Mix-a-Lot here. I am going to transfer the potatoes to the mixing bowl. They smell good already. And again, this is about 4 large sweet potatoes that I diced up last night. Okay, and to get the last bits out, we're going to use this guy. Now that all the potatoes are out and in the mixer, we're going to put the mixing arm down and we're going to turn it on just stir, as we just want to gently start to break up the sweet potatoes. This also gives the sweet potatoes the opportunity to cool off and let off some steam, literally. Now that they look kind of on the squished up side, we're going to move from stir to number 2. This also helps with the continued cooling. It helps with the continued cooling of the potatoes and helps us get that really silky souffle texture at the end. I'm going to move up to number 4. Now we're mashing. Now we're squishing. Now we're mashing. Good, good, good. All right, we're going to slowly go back down since we are still in the process of cooling the potatoes some. Scrape the sides of the bowl down. One of the things that it is completely okay. Let me reach. Something that is completely okay to be in when it's hot is our butter. So we're going to add our butter to our sweet potato mix. We're back. Added 2. And I cut the butter apart so that I would be able to add it 1 tablespoon at a time. I just added 4. Now we're gonna let Sir Mix-a-Lot mix. Wipe off my fingers from the butter. It's already starting to look a little bit lighter and fluffier. We haven't even whipped all the goodness in yet. I'm gonna push it down. We're going to make sure it gets out of the whisk and back down into the bowl. The other things that don't really mind the heat, we're gonna put another tablespoon of butter in there. We're gonna slowly add our sugar. I put both of them together in here just so that for ease, so that I can just shake a little bit in and it can get incorporated. And turn this back up to a 4. It's starting to smell like a dessert in here. I haven't even added the spices. Just sweet potato, butter, and sugar so far. Yeah, but it's loosening up. It's not as stuck in the whisk. It's gonna be nice and smooth and fluffy. At this point, I'm going to add my vanilla. Sure, I get all that nice warming vanilla. I'm going to add my salt. Just a touch of salt to bring out the flavor of the sweetness. This tiny pinch of nutmeg. And the classic yummy cinnamon. I'm going to need to turn down my mixer. My cinnamon is a little stuck on the side and I want it to fully incorporate into, and it will. I'm not worried that it won't. I still have the heavy whipping cream and the eggs that will add additional looseness to the sweet potato. Back out, a level 2. Our sweet potatoes have cooled. They're no longer giving off steam. It's time for us to slowly incorporate our eggs. I just pre-cracked my eggs to make sure that there weren't any shells that got in there. No one wants a surprise crunchy bit in their sweet potatoes. That's 1 egg. Two eggs. 1 left. There, my last egg. Now we're gonna kick this up. It's now a level 6. Because I want to be sure that all of the pieces of potato, all of the sugar, all of everything is mixed in together. So that it becomes almost like a sweet potato batter. Now in goes my heavy whipping cream. And heavy whipping cream just makes it fancy and luxurious. Gonna have to turn it back up so that it incorporates. Just trying to make sure that I didn't have any splashes. Okay, I think that we have whipped our ingredients into what I described as the sweet potato almost batter. And since this is supposed to be a Thanksgiving sweet potato souffle, we're going to use our handy dandy aluminum pan because the aluminum pan sets us up to be able to cook, transport, serve, and then throw away after cooking for everyone for Thanksgiving. The cleanup needs to be as easy as it can be. Just to support the bottom. So I'll put that on here. Move my whisk. It's time to get this goodness. It's time to get this goodness in the pan. Look how it just pours out. Scrape all the sides. Now we're going to smooth it on down so that it's pretty. That looks smooth and pretty. Now we're going to add our marshmallows. I thought that was going to be enough, but it's not. Let me go grab. Go grab the bag. Alright, we're going to shake more marshmallows onto the top. And then we're going to have to spread these guys out. I totally underestimated how many marshmallows I was going to need for this pan. It's okay. I have extra. My youngest son, when he was about 3, he called these marshmallows. He loved marshmallows, and he loved that we made s'nores with the marshmallows. So cute. He's 16 now. He doesn't say marshmallows. Still cute to me. All that's left is for it to go in the oven. It's going to take about 40 minutes to be puffed and ready. Okay, we are ready to take out our sweet potato souffle. Let me grab my pot holders. Oh, all of those beautifully browned marshmallows or marshmallows, depending on who you're asking. Look at all that goodness. All our marshmallows have puffed up, they've browned, and it's risen because of the souffle, the eggs, and the heavy whipping cream. This is a delicious addition to a Thanksgiving meal. Or in the case of my oldest son, a delicious dessert to finish a Thanksgiving meal. So now that I've let my sweet potato souffle cool, it's time to have a taste test. I'm gonna get right here in this little corner, a little scoop. Funny thing about the people in my family is when we're eating something that's really good, we tend to dance a little bit. And I'm dancing.